Eram Shakir Rahim. Welcome to the other side with Fariha and Talat. Thank you so much for joining the show. The show today is called Against All Odds. So Eram Shakir Rahim is VP and General Manager of GlaxoSmithKline Pakistan Limited. She's had a professional career that spans over 25 years in the pharmaceutical sector. Eram has been in various positions, okay? So in 2013, she was appointed as General Manager of GSK Malaysia. Then in 2016, she was MD and GM of GSK Bangladesh and Developing Countries Asia Cluster. And then GM Indonesia was her last one before she took over just recently in April of 2020. So we're coming up to 1 year now of Vice President and General Manager of GSK Pakistan. So a lot of global roles, Eram, so you've clearly been very successful, not just within Pakistan, but also, in outside of Pakistan. So welcome to the show. And as a start, tell me a little bit about the journey.
Thank you, Talat. Thank you for the introduction. And of course, it's been an interesting journey. And I think it started in Pakistan, but we got, when I joined GSK, as an anecdote, probably the interesting part is I'm a journalist by background. I'm a media person and a journalist by background in terms of studies, but also in terms of work. And I started working very early. So the thing probably that for me mattered the most was curiosity and learning. And that's the thing that has really, taken me wherever it has, because I've genuinely loved the learning part of this journey more than anything else, because you try and discover who you are, you try and understand what is it that you're passionate about. Wasn't very keen to go abroad, didn't want to lose the connections that I had here and the comfort that I had here, actually comfort more than anything else. So it took me a very long time to decide that yes, this is something that I want to do, and it only happened because I was finally pushed into that by my manager at that time, Salman. Right, I was given an ultimatum whether you want to take it now or you be quiet for the rest of your life and be happy with whatever you have currently. And I didn't want to do that because I had stopped learning, and I realized I had stopped learning. So took the jump and took on the role of the GM for Malaysia and Brunei in 2013. Because once I started the journey in Malaysia, discovered who I really was and really understood that the need to probably reinvent myself to an extent and to relearn everything, because Pakistan, I had credibility, I knew the team, I knew the people had seen my journey and respected me for that. In another culture, in another business, I had to reestablish who I was. I had no credential except that I was somebody who came from GSK Pakistan, and some of the people in that part of the, for them also, because they've never worked with a Pakistani, and also a female Pakistani. So
that's really interesting. That's what my question is. So as a female, what mindsets and what kind of social barriers did you face? Like what was the assumption? What was the perception around you?
So I think first was when I was introduced, till such time that I was introduced and I spoke on the phone, they didn't realize it was a female. Right, because they didn't understand the name had any connotations, and they were very shocked. I was shocked to the system, and the fact that you're coming from Pakistan, which was probably not as something in their minds as developed or as much of, they didn't know a lot about Pakistan. Right. So they associated. In fact, one of my teammates, when I developed that relationship of trust, he said, "No, we thought you would be like Rambo because you're coming from Pakistan. So unless you were really, really, somebody who would out to kill and had that sort of an attitude, how can you land in another country as a GM?"
Thank you, Eram. So clearly there were social, political, there were lots of different challenges that you probably faced in all of these countries. And again, on your own, I know it must have been a very lonely kind of journey in many different ways, because clearly you're not only in a new culture, in a new place, new people who don't speak your language, a different language. So it's, so it must have been really tough. So what was it? Was there any one person or one a mentor or somebody that helped you through this journey that you feel, gosh, without them, this would have been so much more difficult?
So I think, Tala, not just one, but many actually. First, I think family is very, very important. I'm a single person, so I'm in the sense I'm the youngest at home, and one of the biggest barriers in my mind was leaving my mother and my siblings here, without being there. I mean, it's not that I needed to be there, but in my own mind, I thought I was, I couldn't just abandon everyone, and it seemed like an abandonment because you wanted to pursue your own career. But the family piece is very, very critical, and being there and making sure that they are if they hadn't supported all the way through, it wouldn't have been possible. So I think that goes without saying. But also then a number of people in your professional life, my boss, as I said, in Pakistan, Salman, but also the other people I worked with, a lot of my line managers. Salman has been there, I think, at all times, somebody I could talk to, who could mentor me, who could also challenge me. And so as a person, I need a lot of TLC. So his style is not giving any TLC, and he's saying, go on, go ahead and do it and get out of this mindset. And that helps, because you can wallow in your own emotions and doesn't help.
What about the other side? No pun intended, but what about in your 25-year journey, there had to be people who were bringing you down as well, who tried to bring you down, who tried to demotivate you, who tried to say, yaar, nahi kar sakogi tum, kya yaar, aurat ho tum nahi karogi. So tell me about those people.
I think it's उसमें भी तलत में भी probably एक आदमी नहीं होगा, multiple लोग होंगे, different points of your career and with different agendas. And I think more than a female, because female is probably more of people I interacted with. Eventually they realize the work ethic, they realize कि seriousness कितनी है, passion कितना है, and तो वो फिर आपको respect करते हैं, grudgingly करते हैं, लेकिन करते हैं.
What you just said really resonates and reminds me of the book Lean In by Sheryl Sandberg, where she talks about exactly this, is you need to lean in onto that table and make she said, you notice in a meeting room, there's, when women walk in, they actually go and get the seat that's at the far end of the table, or they'll sit at the back of the room. Okay, women kind of, in all cultures, and this is like the Western American culture she's talking about. So this exists everywhere. And she said, you need to claim your space.
Everywhere.
So Iram, thank you very much. A quick one from you. So, briefly, what are the 3 skill sets that it takes in particular for women to be successful in their careers? This program is going to be watched by, women who are starting out in their careers, so fresh graduates. It's going to be mid-level women, senior women. So I'm sure they would love to hear from you. What are just 3 things that they need to build to be successful in their careers? Over to you.
I would not then elaborate on things that किसी भी career के लिए किसी भी aspiring individual को चाहिए होता है, passion है, commitment है. That is important, and I think that goes for everyone. Mm-hmm. But especially I think चीजें जिनको maybe ज़्यादा बेहतर सीख लेनी चाहिए वो networking है, how to network professionally, because हमेशा confident रहें. I think and अपनी जो चीज आपको के लिए इम्पोर्टेंट है उसको वॉइस करें, एंड दैट इज इम्पोर्टेंट, बिकॉज बहुत दफा होता है जैसे सैलरी नेगोशिएशन है, राइट? अभी अज्यूम के जी ऑटोमेटिकली हो जाएगी, आपका मेल पार्ट कभी भी ये नहीं अज्यूम करेंगे. सो आप उसके लिए कॉन्फिडेंट दैट यू हैव दैट यू आर क्वालिफाइड फॉर द जॉब, यू आर डूइंग अ ग्रेट जॉब, उसके लिए नेगोशिएट करें, नेगोशिएट अच्छी तरह प्रिपेयर करके करें, एंड डू गो विद द माइंडसेट दैट यू डिजर्व इट. थर्ड, आई हैव अ ट्राइब. मेरे लिए बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट था कि मेरे पास अपना एक कोपिंग मैकेनिज्म हो. मेरा कोपिंग मैकेनिज्म था कि आई हैड अ सेट ऑफ फ्रेंड्स, बट आई कुड कॉल अप माय बेस्ट फ्रेंड व्हाटएवर आई वांटेड टू, एंड वो अगेन हु कैन गिव यू द राइट एडवाइस. ये नहीं कि वो आपको शुगर कोट करें और आपको कहेंगे नहीं ये नहीं, बैलेंस रखें, एंड अपना स्ट्रेसेस भी रिकग्नाइज कर लें, और अपने आप कैसे अपने आप को डी स्ट्रेस करेंगे वो भी रिकग्नाइज कर लें. जितना अर्ली आप करेंगे वो ज्यादा बेहतर आपको बैलेंस करने के लिए हेल्प करेगा.
Fantastic. Iram, thank you so much for your time today. Thank you so much for agreeing to be on our show. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you, and we learned so much from this, and I'm sure a lot of people listening into this are going to be really, really interested in what you had to say. So thank you so much for being on the other side with Riha and Tara. Thanks.